Hello, I am Professor Rathod. Today I am going to discuss on the topic of fuel and combustion. This chapter comes from the subject of Applied Thermodynamics 1 as per the syllabus of D. Bottu. So, in the introduction of fuel and combustion, now we have to define what is fuel. A fuel is a combustible substance containing a carbon as the main constituent, which on the proper burning gives a large amount of heat that can be used economically. For example, wood, coal, kerosene, petrol, diesel, water gas, etc. So this is, or a fuel is also defined as a substance containing mostly carbon and hydrogen, which on burning with oxygen in the atmosphere air produces a large amount of heat. The amount of heat generated is known as calorific value of the fuel. Now the next one is, what is combustion? Let us see. Combustion is a chemical reaction in which the substance combines with oxygen, producing heat, light, and flame. Combustion reaction of the fuel can be represented as follows. Now this you can see the equation Cn H2n plus 2 gives CO2, the gas, plus H2O gas plus heat. The next we can see, this is the classification of fuel, or also called as type of fuels. In the types of fuel are also called as classification of fuel. So fuels are basically divided into primary or natural fuel and secondary or artificial fuel. Primary or secondary or natural or artificial fuel. Natural fuel is again divided into three types, that is solid, liquid, and gases. Again the artificial fuels are also divided in solid, fuel, and gas. So in the natural fuel or the primary fuel, solid examples are wood, coal. Liquid, all the petroleum are the examples of the liquid, and gaseous, natural gas. So in the types of artificial fuel, the examples of solid is charcoal, the example of liquid is petrol, and the example of gas is coal gas. Primary fuels are found in the nature, whereas secondary fuels are prepared from primary fuel by processing them in a number of ways. So the classification was very important. Now, as I told you, the calorific value of fuel is the total quantity of heat liberated when 1 unit of fuel is burned completely. So the calorific value are divided in two types actually. One is gross or higher calorific value. This is GCV or HCV. It is total quantity of heat liberated when 1 unit of fuel is burnt completely and products of combustion has been cooled to the room temperature. So that is high calorific value, also called as gross calorific value. Now second type is lower calorific value, or also called as net calorific value, NCV or LCV. It is the total quantity of heat liberated when 1 unit of fuel is burned completely and products of combustion has been permitted to escape. So LCV is equal to HCV minus latent heat of water vapor form. Latent heat of steam is 537 calorie per gram. So now we will see the actual formula of higher calorific value. The gross or the net calorific value, the amount of heat obtained by the complete combustion of 1 kg of fuel when products of its combustion are cooled down to the temperature of supplied air. Usually the temperature is around 50 degrees Celsius, is called as gross or higher calorific value. If the chemical analysis of the fuel is available, then the higher calorific value of the fuel is determined by the formula known as Dulong's formula. So this is the formula actually. When the numericals has been solved, the formula has been used. HCV or GCV, that is 33,800 33800 C plus 144000, that is 1,44,000 H2, that is hydrogen, plus 9270S, that is measured in kilojoules per kg. So C stands for carbon, H stands for hydrogen, and S stands for sulfur. 33800C plus 144,000H2 plus 9270S, and that is measured in the unit of kilojoules per kg. So if the fuel contain O2, then it is assumed that whole amount is combined with hydrogen having mass equal to 1/8 of that oxygen. So the formula for HCV in this case, that is 33800C plus 144,000 into bracket H2 minus O2 upon 8 plus 9270S. C is carbon, H is hydrogen, and S is sulfur. Now next, how to calculate the net or lower calorific value. When the heat absorbed or carried by the products of the combustion is not recovered and steam formed during the combustion is not condensed, then the amount of heat obtained per kg of fuel is known as net or lower calorific value. So therefore the formula of LCV is equal to HCV, that is higher calorific value, minus heat of steam formed during combustion. So since the amount of heat per kg of steam is taken, heat of vaporization of the water corresponding to a standard temperature of 15 degrees Celsius is 2466 kilojoules per kg. Therefore the formula is LCV is equal to HCV minus MS multiplied by 2466 in the unit of kilojoules per kg. MS is mass of steam. So therefore if the MS is 9H2, in this case the formula will become LCV is equal to HCV minus 9H2 into 2466 kilojoules per kg. So we know the H2 is hydrogen. Now the units of calorific value for solid, liquid, and the gaseous in the unit of MKS method, that is kilocalorie per kg. In the liquid also kilocalorie per kg, but the gas is kilocalorie per meter cube because the gas is measured in the volume and the solid and fuel are measured in the mass. The SI unit, that is for the solid and liquid, is joules per kg, and for gas joules per meter cube. 1 kilocalorie per kg is equal to 1.8 BTH, that is British unit per LB, and 1 kilocalorie per meter cube is equal to 0.1077 BTU per cubic feet. That is the unit of calorific fuel. Now the characteristics of the good fuel. Characteristics: a good fuel should have high calorific value, moderate ignition temperature, low moisture content, low non-combustible matter content, low cost and easily available, easy to transport, and storage cost should be low. Products of the combustion should not be formed, burn in air without much scope. Combustion should be easily controllable. These are some of the characteristics of the good fuel. Now you can see the bomb calorimeter. The bomb calorimeter is basically used for determination of the calorific value of solid and liquid. The diagram, you can see the diagram. In the diagram, so the different parts are there in the diagram. This is the experiment based on the calorimeter, how to find out the calorific value. When a certain weight of quantity of fuel is burned in a calorimeter, the heat given out is used up in the heating the calorimeter and the water inside the calorimeter. If we equate the heat given out by the fuel to the heat taken up by the calorimeter and the water, the calorific value of the fuel can be determined. You can see the diagram. There are different so this is the enclosed case of the stainless steel. Inside of it there is some different materials. You can see in the diagram. This is the experimental part. This is we can cover into the slot of practical. So this is the construction working of the principle of the bomb calorimeter. Bomb calorimeter consists of the stainless steel bomb in which the combustion of the fuel is made to take place. A known mass of the given fuel is taken in the nickel crucible supported over the ring inside the steel bomb, which is connected with two electrodes. The bomb lid is tightly screwed and filled with O2 up to 25 atmosphere. The bomb is then lowered into the copper calorimeter containing known mass of water. The water is stirred with help of a mechanical stirrer and the initial temperature is recorded. The electrodes are then connected to 6-volt battery and the circuit is completed. Uniform stirring of water is continued and the maximum temperature is recorded. So this was the procedure of how to calculate the calorific values from the bomb calorimeter. Now the calculations of the bomb calorimeter, the formula is given. So x into c is equal to w plus small w into bracket into another bracket, that is T2 minus T1 we can say. Therefore we can able to find out the calorific value, where x is the mass in gram of the fuel sample, w is the mass of the water in the calorimeter, small w is the water equivalent to calorimeter, stirrer, thermometer, bomb, etc. Now T1 is the initial temperature of the water and T2 is the final temperature in the calorimeter, and the capital C is calorific value of the fuel, and the formula that HCV is equal to capital W plus small w into bracket T2 minus T1 divided by X. Now the gaseous fuel, there is a natural gas. It occurs in the nature, mostly found under the earth crust along with the crude oil. So it occurs in the nature is a mixture of hydrocarbons, methane and ethane. The other hydrocarbons so it is basically a mixture of hydrocarbons and ethane and other hydrocarbons. A calorific value of this is natural gas is 12,000 to 14,000 kilocalorie per meter cube. It is largely used as a domestic fuel. CNG, we know that is compressed natural gas. It is the natural gas compressed under the high pressure. It is largely used in the alternative fuel for the motor vehicle. Second, natural gas is liquefied natural gas. It is liquefied natural gas by refrigerating natural gas to minus 260 degree Fahrenheit. So it is used more dense than CNG, so is good for the large trucks than need to go on long domestic. Now the third natural gas, that is liquefied petroleum gas, it is a mixture of hydrocarbon, contains up to 80 to 95% propane and 5 to 20% of the ethane and other hydrocarbons. Calorific value of this LPG is 27,800 kilocalorie per meter cube. It is used in domestic and industrial fuel. Now the biofuel, gobar gas, or also called as biogas. Animal dung converted to biogas, which is a clean fuel. It is a mixture of hydrocarbon percentage 5 to 60% methane and 30 to 40% carbon dioxide and little N2 and hydrogen, that is nitrogen and hydrogen, and traces of H2S, that is sulfuric acid. A process, a slurry of cow dung and water 1:1 proportion is put into the plant. Gobar gas is produced by anaerobic bacteria decomposition of mixture, which is drawn through pipes. Anaerobic, it means there is absent of the oxygen. The residue is left rich in the nutrient which can be used as a manure. The calorific value of this is 1200 kilocalorie per meter cube. It is mostly used in domestic fuel, that is cooking and lighting. Biogas can be also be generated from the animal and plant waste. Also there can be used the human waste also. The important is biodiesel. Biodiesel refers a vegetable oil or animal fat based diesel fuel consisting of long chain alkali esters. Alkali, that shall be methyl, ethyl, or the propyl. Biodiesel is typically made of chemically reacting lipids, for example vegetable oil, soybean oil, animal fat with an alcohol producing fatty acid esters. Biodiesel is renewable clean burning diesel replacement that is reducing dependence crude petroleum and improving the environment. That is about the biodiesel. Now the gaseous fuel, one of the fourth gaseous fuel, that is water gas. Water gas is mainly a mixture of CO and hydrogen, that is carbon monoxide and hydrogen, and it is produced by passing alternately steam and little through a bed of red hot coke maintained about 900 to 1000 degrees Celsius. At first the steam reacts with red hot coke 900 to 1000 degrees Celsius to produce CO and H2. The reaction C plus H2O gives you CO plus H2, that is CO and H2 separates. That is happens at minus 29 kilocalorie, that is endothermic reaction. It is, this reaction is endothermic and the temperature of the bed of the coke falls. So there are next equation, CO plus O2 gives you CO2, 2C plus O2 gives you 2CO, that is plus it gives the 59 kilocalorie, and the reaction at the both of the equation is exothermic. The composition H2 is 50%, CO is 40%, N2 and CO2 are 4% each. That is what water gas. Now the one of the next gas is producer gas. Producer gas, it is mainly of a mixture of CO and nitrogen. It is produced by passing the air over a white hot coke bed maintained at about 1000 to 1400 to 1400 degrees Celsius. The reaction 2C plus O2 gives you 2CO plus 59 kilocalorie. C plus O2 gives you CO2 plus 97 kilocalorie. Both reactions are exothermic. Next reaction is CO2 plus C, that gives you 2CO minus 39 kilocalorie. So the composition of N2 50%, CO is 30%, H2 4%, and rest CO2, CH4, etc. The calorific value of this producer gas is 1300 kilocalorie per meter cube. It is mainly used in industrial fuel. Next gaseous fuel is coal gas. Coal gas is one of the important gas. It is obtained by destructive distillation of the coal. The coal gives you coal gas plus coke into bracket, that is residue. The composition by volume H2 is 50%, CH4 is 30, and CO is 8%. So the calorific value of this is 4900 kilocalorie per meter cube. Fossil fuels, they are formed by the bacterial decomposition of plants and animal buried on the plant and animals buried on the earth million years ago in presence of heat and under pressure of earth. They are valuable on the earth crust. For example, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These are the examples of the fossil fuels. Now the classification of coal, you can see wood can be going to form in the peat can going to form into lignite is going to form into the bituminous coal, and it is going to form in the anthracite coal. So this is the classification of coal. Coal is a primary solid fuel which occurs in nature, very impure form of carbon. It is a fossil fuel. The classification of fuel, so this is the wood, peat, ignite, bituminous and anthracite coal, percentage of the moisture content, percentage of the carbon percent, and percentage of the hydrogenic content, and the calorific value. I can read now the values of calorific value for the wood, that is 4000 to 4500, for the peat 4500 to 5000, for the lignite 6500 to 7000, for the bituminous 8100 to 8600, and for the anthracite coal it is 8650 to 8700, that is measured in kilocalorie per kg. So now the analysis of the coal, this is analysis of the coal is sample required to assess the quality of coal, proximity analysis and bituminous and ultimate analysis. So proximate and ultimate analysis. The proximate analysis is the process of determination of the moisture, volatile matter, ash and fixed carbon content. The ultimate analysis, it is the process of determination of composition of various components of coal, which includes the determination of percentage of carbon, hydrogen, sulfur, nitrogen, oxygen and ash content. It is necessary for utilization of coal for industrial purpose. This is a proximate analysis. Moisture content, volatile matter content, ash content and fixed carbon content, these are the proximate analysis. The ultimate analysis, determination of percentage of carbon and hydrogen, determination of percentage of nitrogen and determination of percentage of sulfur. This is the ultimate analysis. You can see everything on the PPT. That is comparison of solid, liquid and the gaseous fuel. For the solid, liquid and gaseous fuel, you can see the parameter of the calorific value, pollution, ignition temperature and fire hazard, and the parameter of the cost. The calorific value is low for solid, high for liquid and highest for the fuel. The pollution is high for the solid, and the ash content is low, and for the gaseous, the pollution free, they burn without the smoke and the ashless. For the ignition and the fire hazard, their processes. For the solid is moderate ignition temperature. For the liquid, the temperature is low and there is chance of fire hazard. For the gaseous, so there are chances of fire hazard is highest. Cost for the solid is low, for the liquid is relatively higher, and for the gas they are more costly compared to the solid and liquid fuels. So this was the comparison. Now the comparison again the next parameter, transportation, storage and mode of operation during the combustion. The fuel for the solid, the cost is low. For the liquid it is more costly, and the gaseous, they are can be conveyed through the pipeline, hence costly. So the storage, the store needs no risk. So likewise the comparison is there. You can read from the PPT, you can go through. Then from this chapter, one of the last bit we can say, what is flue gas analysis. Flue gas analysis can be made by the Orsat apparatus. What is the word flue? When the fuel is supplied to any of the engine, it burns and it remains residue, and that should be in the certain range. So by the apparatus Orsat apparatus, we can able to calculate it. We can see the diagram of it. In the diagram you can see the flask, that is ABC, denoted by capital ABC, and there are some of the cocks that is denoted by A, B, C and small d, it is denoted by the small letters. Then there is one of the idiometer tube is there is some certain ranges there. To the idiometer, with help of the rubber tube, it is connected with the aspirator bottle. Now how it works, Orsat apparatus. So this contains the three of the flask with idiometer tube and the aspirator bottle. Now to check the combustion efficiency of the boiler, it is considered essential to determine the constituent of the flue gases. Such an analysis is carried out with help of the Orsat apparatus as shown in the figure. Now the essential to determine the constituents of the flue gases. Such an analysis is carried out with help of the Orsett apparatus. The diagram is shown in figure. It consists of graduated measuring glass tube, also called as idiometer tube, and 3 flasks ABC, each containing different chemicals for absorbing CO2, CO and O2. Finally, we have to find out the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and oxygen. An aspirator bottle containing water is cancelled to the bottom of idiometer tube by means of rubber tube. It can be moved up and down at will for producing a suction or pressure effect on the sample of the flue gas. Now, flask A contains caustic soda, that is NaOH, and used for absorbing CO2 in the sample of the flue gases. Flask B contains NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide and perlogalic acid, which absorbs O2 from the sample of the flue gas. And the flask C contains a solution of cuprous chloride, that is Cu2Cl2 in hydrochloric acid, which absorbs CO from the sample of flue gases. So flask A determines CO2, flask B determines percentage of O2, and flask C determines the percentage of CO. So in this setup, each of the 3 flasks are stopcock, that is A, B, C respectively, and 3-way cock D, which can be opened to either atmosphere or the flue gas. The sample of flue gas to be analyzed is first sucked in the idiometer tube and its volume is noted. It can take usually 100 centimeter cube of the gas. Each gas present in the sample to be read on idiometer tube. Since the flue gas is collected over the water in the tube, therefore any steam present in it will be condensed. Similarly, sulfuric acid, that is SO2, present in it will also be absorbed. Hence, percentage of dry flue gases are only obtained by Orsett apparatus. That is how we can able to calculate the flue gases by using Orsett apparatus. And thank you for your concentration. Thank you.